AEW is where the best wrestle.
Come down with the game.
All right, this is Master Marks, and I'm coming back with another conversation for my day one doggy bones. Shout out to the AEW Pack Smokers, the Master Marks Militia, and the Day One Doggy Bones. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the current video you are watching, and do not forget to turn the post notifications on so you know every time we drop a video. Shout out to my dog K Breezy, Abengora, TW Booty Hunter, King Mike's World. Let's get the video started. Today's video is simply titled WWE is boring without the Bloodline. Now, I know a couple folks been waiting for me to go ahead and drop my video. I did watch WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Those who are saying that that was the biggest WrestleMania ever, stop capping. Stop it. Y'all need to stop with the cap. It was a good WrestleMania. It had decent action, decent matches, but the best WrestleMania ever? We still got a WrestleMania where The Undertaker hung the big boss man from the Hell in a Cell cage. So, yeah. I'm not saying that that's the best WrestleMania ever. There are a lot of WrestleManias that are good. Austin versus Shawn Michaels. Mike Tyson as the special guest referee. There are a lot of WrestleManias that are good. Was this the best WrestleMania ever? No. Okay, so let's first talk about a few things here. I want to first give a shout out and a thank you to the Tribal Chief for holding down WWE for 4 straight years while battling leukemia. You have been a fighter, a warrior. Yes, you have not been on every single episode of SmackDown or every single episode of Raw, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Roman Reigns, as the champion you were, you carried WWE through the pandemic, after the pandemic, during the situation with Vince and his trial, and all the way up until you lost the title. So, shout out to the Tribal Chief, and thank you, Tribal Chief, for all you've done for WWE in the recent years, especially fighting with what you're fighting with. It is very difficult to have a disease or some type of cancerous thing in your body or something that deteriorates your body and continue to do what you did for a wrestling company. However many nights that you've wrestled, because we don't count cookies in the cookie jar. We just make sure the cookies are the good cookies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say Roman was boring, he was stale, he was this, he was that, but he was consistent. And as we seen from looking at WWE Raw on Monday, WWE is boring without the Bloodline. The Bloodline is the storyline that keeps on going, that probably will never end. There are many features to it. But if you don't have the Bloodline there, you have random matches like Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ilya Dragunov, I don't even know how to say that boy name. Dragunov, something like that. Droganov. You have senseless matches like that. And a rookie, a guy that's not even established on the main roster, should not be pinning Shinsuke Nakamura clean. A former NXT champion, a veteran in the game, he should not be pinning him clean. What are y'all doing? But this is the Paul Levesque era, so let's talk about that too as well. Like, this common sense. I'm just gonna give y'all a breakdown and let y'all know what's coming. without the Bloodline, you will start to see matches like Johnny Gargano versus Cody Rhodes. Random bull crap match. I'm going to say something else. I forgot we on YouTube. You know how YouTube they be watching out here. They be keeping their eye on you, making sure you ain't getting your check. You'll get matches like Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso don't need to be the heavyweight champion. I don't know why this whole narrative of Jey Uso keeps coming up. We seen what happens when you put Jey Uso in the ring with another high flyer, his brother. It's a match that it's good for the history to say, oh, brothers went against each other in WrestleMania history. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really all that like that because them two got the same moveset anyways. Because Jey Uso has spent his entire career as a wrestler with the tag team partner. So the stuff Jey Uso get away with in the ring one-on-one with someone, that is just the stuff that he does as a tag team partner. Now, don't get me wrong. Jey Uso is over. Jey Uso is charismatic. Jey Uso can talk on the mic. Jey Uso is a decent-sized dude. But Jey Uso is not the heavyweight champion guy. He's just not. He's a blue-collar champion type guy. So when I say blue-collar champion, I'm talking Intercontinental champion. Nothing wrong with that. That's a wonderful belt. There's history behind that. I would rather see a person like Jey Uso be the heavyweight champion, be the Intercontinental. I'm just getting all tongue-tied. Mind y'all, I just got done having a long bike ride before I'm doing this video, so oh my God, I'm old out here. I'm a little gassed, man. I was on that bike for about 2 hours, man. It's a long bike ride. I see guys like Gunther being heavyweight champion and guys like Jey Uso being Intercontinental champion. European champion. Is Jey Uso as over as the Godfather was? Was the Godfather ever the heavyweight champion, or was he the Intercontinental champion? And that's not me comparing Jey Uso to the Godfather. So those who are new to the channel, who haven't heard of us before, please don't think it's haterade that we sipping. We just talking. Men and women having a conversation and talking. So that's what we get now. Now we get a Damian Priest versus a Jey Uso. What do we have next? Johnny Gargano versus Cody Rhodes. Ricochet versus Cody Rhodes for the heavyweight title. Let me just break something down to y'all. This Paul Levesque era stuff, right? As much as people are hyping it up, the problem with Paul is Paul will get himself stuck in the same situation that Tony Khan is in. Now, this is not saying that that's going to happen to Paul Levesque, Triple H. But if he keeps it up and he panders to these fans and spends all of his time giving the fans what they want instead of giving the fans what they deserve, he will end up like Tonyeth the Clown Khan. We need some Bloodline out here. The Bloodline storyline should not be over. We still got a lot of missing pieces going on here. I get it. Roman is trying to get back up there. We'll see Roman soon. But the Bloodline is the storyline in WWE that had everybody watching. when you take the Bloodline out, Triple H, Paul Levesque, all you have is Cody Rhodes versus Johnny Gargano. Jey Uso versus Damian Priest. For what? Damian Priest, if I'm not mistaken, Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre. The stuff with CM Punk, that don't mean nothing right now. That's SummerSlam. But Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre. So why wouldn't Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre fight for the title at the next event? Why would it go past Drew McIntyre and go straight to Jey Uso? That's pandering to the cloud. I said to the cloud. Oh my God. I'm looking up at the sky thinking about the clouds. That is pandering to the crowd. Don't start tricking for pops, Tony Levesque. Don't start it, Tony Levesque. Don't start it, Paul Khan. Don't start tricking for pops, Paul Khan, Tony Levesque. Don't you do it to yourself, brother. You will put yourself in the same situation that Tony Khan is in. And guess what? What's her name? Julia, right? Okay, so you sign Julia. You have Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Asuka. Now, Asuka is excluded out of this. Let's just focus solely on Io Sky and Kairi Sane. These are two women's wrestlers who never had, and this is no offense to them because I do like Japanese female wrestlers. I think, the whole idea of it is cool as long as it's not like Riho, somebody who looks like they're way too small to be in a wrestling ring. Like it's dangerous for them to be in there. I could dig Io Sky and Kairi Sane, but the problem with Japanese wrestlers in the mainstream, on Raw, on live TV, is they have no story to tell because they can't speak English. Shinsuke Nakamura, his biggest problem on the main roster was his English wasn't good. And that's not something that is his fault. He's not from here, but he moved here. And because WWE and Paul Levesque be so hell-bent on pushing these Japanese wrestlers out, they don't come up with a concept of how to get them over and entertained by the crowd. They just figured out what to do with Shinsuke Nakamura 3 months ago. They just figured he speaks Japanese? Have him cut promos in Japanese. And then we're going to put some subtitles. That was so simplistic. If you would have did that 4 years ago, people would have stayed hooked on Shinsuke Nakamura because the dude is not terrible. He is more charismatic without words than people who use words in the ring. Shinsuke Nakamura, I will tell y'all straight up, Shinsuke is more charismatic than most wrestlers in AEW. He knows how to get the crowd. He knows how to use his eyes. He knows his dance moves. He knows how to come out to the ring. Nakamura is more charismatic than most wrestlers in AEW. That is facts. That's not me out here simping for Shinsuke Nakamura. That's just facts. Now, back to what I was talking about before. They just figured out 3 months ago what to do. They just figured out 3 months ago what to do with Shinsuke Nakamura. We still got Kairi Sane. We don't know if she can speak English. Io Sky, we know she can't speak English. Asuka can get by. She can give enough. She just gives enough of that intimidating Asuka factor. See, that was a big problem too. If they would have pushed Shinsuke Nakamura at the level that they pushed Asuka, because when Asuka first came in, I don't think her English was great, but it was enough to get by for her to seem scary and undefeated. That was their mistake. So now they got a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura, which I mean, in Japan, he's a legend. And I feel like if anybody should have been finishing a story, it don't need to be Cody Rhodes. It need to be a guy that's been there, that's been grinding, that's been on the road every single time, every other day, every night, like Shinsuke Nakamura. Why wouldn't a person like Shinsuke Nakamura deserve to win the big one over Cody Rhodes? What, because Cody Rhodes' dad is Dusty Rhodes? Because Cody Rhodes' dad was Dusty Rhodes? This is a news flash for y'all. Cody Rhodes was still Intercontinental Champion. Yes, he went through the Stardust phase and he went through all of that. If Cody Rhodes would have stayed in WWE, he would have had a WWE Championship more than likely a long time ago. But he took his ball and he went over to the Bucks to go play with their balls. He left WWE to go to hang out with the indie guys because he wanted to make a name for himself. What's the difference between Cody Rhodes now and then? Yeah, he wears a suit. He's got blonde hair. He still can't cut promos good. He still needs to get his daggone tongue clipped or get his tongue reworked. Pause. No diddy. Get his tongue fixed. That way when he comes off with a promo, there is no altering his words. He can say things how he needs to say things. I get it. It's Dusty's son, man. I get it. Goldust is Dusty's son. They didn't do that for Goldust. And if we're going to be honest when it comes to charisma, mic skills, talent, artistically, would you rather take a Cody Rhodes or you're going to take Goldust? I'm choosing Goldust because what Goldust did, he turned something that no other man probably would want to do into something that will give him a legacy for the rest of his career. When we look down in the future, the only thing that Cody Rhodes really had over Dustin Rhodes or Goldust's head right now is that WWE title that was handed to him, which I don't think Cody Rhodes deserved to take that title off of Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. I would have preferred a young guy like Braun Breaker who has grinded himself up into the business out of nowhere, then ask for nothing, don't even use his family name to beat Roman Reigns. I would have preferred that. Because at this point, if you can have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns, why didn't you just have Jey Uso beat him? Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, to me, are on the same at the same level. Maybe the merch sales aren't the same, and Jey Uso don't walk around with a suit, be like a politician every day. He don't walk around like the good old boy with a silly tattoo on his neck. But if you wanted to have somebody who, I mean, I get the story and the dad and the crying and stuff, but if you wanted to have somebody who really didn't honestly need to beat Roman Reigns, why didn't you just have Jey Uso do it? Or Sami Zayn do it? Or Kevin Owens do it? Those guys have been grinding for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes took his ball and went home. Stop rewarding people for leaving. Because while Cody Rhodes was leaving and hopping and skipping around and jumping in the Bullet Club, there are guys who were in WWE grinding. Cody Rhodes wasn't as grinding as hard as Solo Sikoa was. Sorry. That's just facts. Nobody knew who Solo Sikoa was. He earned his way up to the main roster. Braun Breaker. Trick Williams. Well, like, we got all these guys that you could put in the storyline and build something good to beat Roman. Cody Rhodes was not the guy to do it. I'm sorry. He wasn't the guy to do it. If you were going to have Roman Reigns lose the belt, have The Rock take it off of him at that point. Have him get cashed in by by the fake Undertaker wannabe, Damian Priest. Which Damian Priest, let me tell you something. And this is supposed to be about a whole different thing, but I'm going on and on and on and on. Damian Priest, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, brother, homeboy, home fly. Shout out to the Boricuas in the chat. Shout out to my Boricuas. We got Boricua blood in us as well, too. Shout out to them. The Puerto Ricans in the chat. Shout out to all my dogs. Let me tell you something, brother. I got black, Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? I got everything. That's the family. Damian Priest, what you doing in WWE right now is not equivalent or better than Attitude Era. Because right now, the world is so soft that you can't even tell the truth anymore. Social justice warriors are so soft that they don't even know what they are wanting justice for. They just seen something that made them feel empowered and that they deserve to get justice for it. You want to know who deserves some justice? Liv Morgan. Rhea screwed Liv Morgan over, didn't she? Back in the day? That's a storyline. What was the storyline between Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley? Huh? What was it? But back to the Damian Priest thing. Damian Priest, you can't lace the boots of the Undertaker, brother. Damian Priest, you are the Midian in this scenario. And I don't even think that you're a bad dude or you're a bad wrestler. I just think that you're not convincing as a heel or convincing as a babyface. You get by off of the Judgment Day. I've never seen you do one heel thing in the Judgment Day. Dom has done more heel stuff than you have done in the entire Judgment Day. Why didn't they have Dom win the heavyweight championship? That is at least believable. So Damian Priest, before you get too fascinated with these things, let me tell you again, brother. I am proud that you got yourself off of the street and you are no longer homeless. I know what it was like. I've been there, done that when I was a lot younger and whatever the case may be. I've been there, done that. But watch your mouth, Damian Priest. Don't disrespect the Attitude Era, brother. Why do you want to be like something? Or you got to compare yourself to something? That's the problem. This is the problem with AEW. They spend all this time trying to be better than the Attitude Era and say that compare Daniel Garcia to who do they compare him to? They need to compare him to Steve Blackman. And Steve Blackman more charismatic than Daniel Garcia. Compare Daniel Garcia to all these people and Muda Yuda Wuda to Stone Cold Steve Austin and all of these things. That was the problem with AEW. WWE, you are falling into the same trap that Tony Khan fell into. This is why the Bloodline, without the Bloodline in WWE, it's simply boring. It's boring. Without the Bloodline storyline, AEW and WWE, I hate to say it, is the same thing. Excuse me. AEW and WWE is the same exact thing. You got a random match that needs to happen for no reason on AEW. You got random matches that need to happen for no reason on WWE. Without a storyline like the Bloodline leading through the whole entire night on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, without that storyline, WWE is boring. And the little things that we have to look forward to, like Liv, God, Liv, that was dangerous with that chair shot to the back of Rhea's head. You gotta be careful. You my dog, but please be careful. That is dangerous, girly. Shout out to Liv Morgan, though. The little tiny things that we have to look forward to in the WWE, it's not even presented to us anymore because their main focal point is Cody Rhodes crying. So now it's over. You've finished the story. You've taken the WWE title and you've presented it to your mama. Congratulations, Cody Rhodes. What are you going to do going forward? Because you have nothing left. There is nothing left to Cody Rhodes now. There wasn't a side feud that he had besides the Bloodline. His whole thing since he came back to WWE has been finishing the story. What happens when you finish the story, brother? Now there ain't no Bloodline around. So what you gonna do? Go fight random people for 6 months till The Rock ready to come back? Is that what we gonna do? And this is exactly why I say WWE is boring without the Bloodline. It's boring. I sat there and tried to watch last night, Monday Night Raw, right? And this is not including NXT because they got their own flavor, they got their own swag over there in NXT. Shout out to the girls and the gals, or the guys and the gals in fucking I'm gonna say AEW. Oh my god, NXT, y'all doing y'all thug dizzle over there. Shout out to NXT. Shout out to Shawn Michaels. Without the Bloodline, what is WWE right now? What's the state of WWE? What, Judgment Day? I would take Judgment Day serious if they didn't have so many goofballs in the group. Damian Priest, present yourself like a champion. Finn Balor, do something. JD McDonough is not it. That dude is not it. The Judgment Day got two people that people care about. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. That's all, brother. So the Judgment Day is boring. The Final Testament, they done lost to the Pride, which a group that's doing absolutely nothing. They doing nothing with Bobby Lashley. I thought they were supposed to be heels. Why is B-Fab in the group? Why isn't Bianca in the group? Isn't Bianca married to... You know what? I'm about to go on and on tonight. Listen, I'm going to just keep it straight up with y'all, and I'm about to get off of here because this is just... It's getting to the point where I don't even really want to talk about it no more. Without the Bloodline, WWE is boring. It's not interesting. It's not fun. They might as well change it to World Wrestling Crying Entertainment. And I've seen comments about Samantha Irvin too. Listen, Samantha Irvin, let me tell you something. You are a wonderful announcer, a wonderful singer, a wonderful player at all the instruments that you play. But act like the championship match actually meant something. You're just crying. That's what it is now. The Rock was right about the Cody crybabies. Because everybody in the arena acted like a Cody crybaby. Cody crying last night. Cody crying on Saturday. Cody crying on Sunday. Crying. And not even over something like Bray Wyatt passing away. I get that. I understand crying over your dad passing away. Yeah, that makes sense. But that story... Without that story, Cody Rhodes, you have nothing right now. So, with that being said, without the Bloodline, WWE is simply boring, and it is basically AEW on steroids with higher quality cameras. So, Paul, if you want to keep that rating and you want to keep bragging about the Paul Levesque era, you better figure out something. You better find a star, and you better send him to the moon. Roman is gone for a little bit. Get Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker ASAP. Because you need a guy like Braun Breaker who people believe will literally beat the brakes off of you. This has been Master Marks. make sure you like the video. You subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We accept super chats, super likes, super thanks. If you want to donate to the channel so we can continue to grow, go ahead and hit us up on Cash App, Masked Up Marks. We're not begging, but all donations are appreciated. At the end of the day, without the Bloodline, WWE is just simply not interesting to me. I don't know what Paul's going to do going forward. Maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he don't. But I'm putting on my money that he won't. Shout out to the AEW Pack Smokers, the Master Marks Militia, and the Day One Doggy Bones, and my dogs in the chat. Streams via Twitch is coming soon, so make sure you go subscribe to us on Twitch at Master Up Marks. I'm out this video.
Get your bank up, cash right now.